Lately, I've been getting a lot of comments from new players asking me, does this work with that? Or what do they need to pull if they only have X? And some of you more experienced players are absolutely making it worse for them by just recommending the most premium team without explaining anything else. I'm sure in other games like Genshin Impact, it's easier to just grab this and call it a day since a lot of the team play in that game can be static, but Zenless, not so much. That's why in today's video, I want to help more players understand that team building in Zenless is a lot more freeform than you think. Most of us are used to putting fire with fire and calling it a day, but Zenless lets us break the rules just a little bit if we know what we're doing. Let me show you what I mean. They should expand the team they have now, but they keep introducing new ones. Oh, dude, I would love if they expanded on the teams we have, which I think we're going to get that with, is it Section 6 or no, it's NEPS, right? NEPS is getting an expansion with the next girl coming out and potentially Seth's older brother, right? So that'll be pretty cool. But yeah, they should absolutely be expanding on what's going on. Are you tired of losing? Are you tired of losing those 50-50s to bullshit? Well, don't worry, big dog, I got just the deal. Let me show you a popular website that helps gamers buy more for less. Not only can you score games for less, but they've also gotten a partnered top-up services, meaning you can buy your pulls cheaper too.
Oh, that's nice.
On top of that, Aniba offers something else I haven't seen any other site do, a 10% cash back with each purchase. Now I get cheaper pulls and my money back. But wait, there's more. Using my link in the description box will get you all set up to start saving more money today. Now get out there and go pull that new character. But regardless of that, I guess, or rather speaking on teams, we can go ahead and talk about today's topic or today's video. It's team building. So right now I have everybody in chat with me on YouTube and Twitch so they can say hi. You guys can say hi back. But what's gonna be talked about is I've noticed with a lot of the new incoming players, I already have a video on my channel where it's kind of like, well, actually multiple videos, but there's a couple of videos that I already have on my channel that new players would be able to take a lot of advantage from. The first one and the most recent one is going to be like, if you have these agents, you beat Zenless, right? So like the top 10 must-have characters in the game. These are just like what you should be looking out for with what we have right now in the game. Then after that, I have this one. If you start Zenless Zone Zero like in this year, here's what I would do. It's just a new player guide for 2026. Really good information. There's another one though, which is this one down here. Most common mistakes that Zenless Zone Zero players make over and over, right? Boom. And this is pretty much like another beginner style video for new players, just pretty much explaining to them like some of the things that they should be paying attention to when going through their game. And if you pay attention over pretty much the last month, all of my videos about Zenless have been in some way, shape, or form trying to help players get from point A to point B. With that said, today I want to talk about team building and why a lot of people, not even just new players, a lot of people don't fully understand team building. This isn't going to be a video where I tell you like, oh yeah, the best in slot is Miyabi, Yuzuha, and Sokaku, and Yuzuha. No, that's not really what it is. It's more so the concept of team building and then the application behind it. Because what I've noticed, not just with Zenless, but since we're talking about Zenless, it's about Zenless, but it's in all gacha games, right? A lot of the players think that you only can do this thing. You can't experiment or play any other way. It has to be this way. And so like, EO, what do you mean? What's a really good example of what you're talking about? So we'll use this team down here called Mother, which is Evelyn's best in slot, right? Astra, Evelyn, and Lighter. And so someone will look at this and go, ah, damn, well, Lighter hasn't been around for a little bit and I really want Evelyn and I just got Astra on her rerun, right? Guaranteed Astra. I'm gonna pull Evelyn for sure, but Lighter's not here and I kind of don't want Lighter. So how do I build this team? Like, I guess I can't play Evelyn. And then they just won't play Evelyn. But it's like, you don't have to do that. You know what I mean? Even if you didn't have Astra and you had Evelyn, you don't have to do that. So if we look at it, and I'll do it down here just for like a clean example. If we're looking at Evelyn, right? And it's like, okay, cool. I really want to play Evelyn. I really want, you know, she's my favorite character. I loved her in the story. I love her model. And like, I'm planning to go for M2s, M4s, M6s, over the course of time, right? Whatever. She's your favorite. You need to come over here and you need to look at what it is that she wants. This is like step number one, right? Activating the additional ability. She's automatically going to activate her core passive. It is what it is. So now you get into like, right, boom, additional ability, ambush point. When she has a stun or support character on her team, easiest thing in the world to do, right? So now you know that you need a stunner, or rather she wants a stunner and she wants a support character. Does that mean that you have to do stun or stun support or support? No, you don't even have to mix. I mean, you can mix them if you wanted to. And so like, if I wanted to build a team, which a lot of you guys are kind of familiar with or comfortable with, let's say you don't want to play a stunner. Suna's on the banner right now. You go for Suna and where's she at? Lucy. You could play this team, right? And like it could functionally work. You could even go as far to, let's say that you wanted to play Bernice. You come over here and you check the same thing, right? What's her additional ability and how do we activate it? Anomaly character or shares the same faction. Okay, cool, great. So I did just put Lucy on the team, right? So now if I really want to play Bernice and Evelyn because they're my favorite character, the one thing that ties them together is a support character who also happens to be from the same faction. Lucky me, that's Lucy, and I've now built the team. Now I can play the team however I want to. Right, it's really that easy to figure out like how team building works at a ground level. Oh, lighter would also work. Exactly, Zeko. You could even use lighter. So like if you didn't have Astra but you had lighter, you could use lighter, and this team would benefit the entire team, right? Mono fire. So now you get into like, all right, I really want Evelyn and Bernice to work. How do I go about doing that? Well, Evelyn cares a lot about stun windows. Bernice not so much. And because I'm playing mono fire, I'm gonna be able to activate Bernice's burns very quickly or very often. How do I take advantage of that? So let's put lighter on the team just for now, because this isn't about like free to play versus not free to play. It's just explaining team building. So if I'm playing Evelyn and I know like, okay, disc drives are pretty important and she's based on chain attacks. We don't have anything that benefits chain attacks right now. How do I go about making sure that my Evelyn is going to be able to take advantage of whatever the team is providing for her? So from a base level, from a ground level, right? If I'm building my Evelyn, there's a couple different things you can do. You can come over into the recommended stuff and you can look at this. This is an easy way, right? Like this is like baby's first build. I need Woodpecker and Branching Blade. That's what they're recommending. They're also recommending crit damage 4, pin 5, and attack 6. My bad. This is custom. This is custom. Hold on. Here we go. System recommendations: crit rate 4, fire damage 5, attack 6. So this is what they're recommending, right? And so I'm like, okay, I could build that. I could go for that. We could also come over here into more plans. And now maybe I can look at what other people are building, right? I might be able to look at switch plans here. Let's see if anyone's got some updates. Nah, they're still not letting us update these things. So it's kind of whatever, right? I was really hoping they changed this, but you know, once again, stuff where I say like, hey, Zenless should be changing stuff, but they're not. So we can kind of see what we're going for here, yeah? Woodpecker and Branching Blade, what are they running? Woodpecker and Puffer, right? So I'm getting a little bit more options. And then free-to-play build, here we go. Woodpecker and Infernal Metal, right? Boom. With 66.6% crit rate, 2600 attack, 155 crit damage. So let's just say maybe that's what we're shooting for, right? Maybe this is what we're going for, is something close to that. So we have a little bit of what's going on. You can come over here and look at these to like match up what you're looking for. This page isn't like, don't use this page as gospel, but you can use it as a soft check to kind of get what it is that you need from this character. And so if I know that I'm building it with her engine and nothing else except, you know, like obviously maxing her out, I see that my Evelyn already has 43% crit rate. If I were following the free to play guide that we just saw or diagram, I would be at, I only need 20 more percent crit rate. I can most likely get my crit rate without using a crit 4. I could probably even get 75% crit rate with no crit 4, especially if we're going with a 2-piece Woodpecker, which a lot of you guys can do. So now if I'm coming over here and like, I want to build whatever it is. Oh, before I do that, actually, I also check the same thing here with lighter. Before I start building on lighter, I want to see what does lighter provide for my team, right? So we're getting that fire res. Okay, boom. That's great. 15% fire res is awesome. I love that. I'm also getting an impact increase specifically for lighter. That's really good too. And then after that, I'm going to be getting a fire damage bonus by activating this with an attack character or sharing the same faction, which we also have from Bernice, as well as, you know, Evelyn being a fire character. So we're good, right? So I'm still getting my fire damage increase all the way up by like 75%, meaning that I probably don't need a fire damage 5 disc for my Evelyn, and I could run something else. On top of that, now we go over here and we look at Bernice and we see what Bernice is bringing to the table, right? So Bernice is bringing her own anomaly damage buildup. She's also dealing her own off-field damage for fire, which is really good. And then she's going to be able to, again, make more anomaly buildup specifically for fire, which is awesome because we're already running a mono fire team. At this point, it's safe for us to probably get away with a full-on burn build. And so now what does that help us do? Let's just say it's really difficult for you to get the extra crit rate, right? But maybe you were running Soldier 11 beforehand and you had a lot of good Infernal Metal pieces. You can see right here, upon hitting a burning enemy, the equipper's crit rate is increased by 28% for 8 seconds. If I ran a 4-piece Infernal Metal, I would be able to, with this team, Lighter and Bernice, right? Or Lucy in Bernice, I would be able to permanently have a 28% increase on crit rate. And if we come back over here, right, we're at 43. So let's go to the calculator real quick. 43% plus 28, 71%. At that point, I don't even need crit rate, guys, right? Why? Because Evelyn's core passive, or her core ability, gives herself, my bad, here we go, 25% crit rate. So realistically, 43 plus 25 puts me at 68 before anything else. Then if I ran Infernal Metal, I'm at 96% crit rate. I'm over capping. I don't need I need one roll in crit rate out of all 6 of my disc. This is kind of what we're getting at with like why I say people don't fully understand how team building works. So this disc right here, +4 crit rate, bro, this is, I don't need this disc. Adding this disc alone automatically overcaps me. And now what I need to be doing, right? Look at this. Attack percent, crit damage. Focus on that. Attack percent, crit rate, attack percent, crit rate. That's fine. We can come back to it. Crit rate, we know we don't want a crit rate 4, right? We definitely don't want crit rate 4. Pin ratio 5. We could rock this, but let's hold off on this because maybe we need more attack, right? Double crits. Yeah, we could probably get away with double crits, right? Let's go with this because it's four line already, double crit. We could probably get away with that. Maybe roll in some crit damage. Right now, we need more attack though. We need more attack, and we can rock one of these here because we did want the attack percent roll and like 1 crit rate roll, whatever. And we could go with the pin just to give us that full 4-piece set. But 48, where we at? Let's undo the math, right? 48 plus that 25 we're getting, we're now at 73. Plus that 28, we're at 101. We can't accept no more crit rate. We can't accept any more crit rate, right? If we're trying to build this team because we really want to play Evelyn, Lighter, and Bernice, because I just love the girls, right? I love the girlies, and I want Lighter to feel like the girlies love him. So now, because I know that I'm focused on more damage, attack or crit damage, now we go for Branching Blade because a 2-piece Branching Blade is more crit damage. We can go for Astral Voice because a 2-piece is more attack, or we can go for a 2-piece, where is it at, Hormone, because I know it's more attack. I also know, now I know what I want. I want attack 6, obviously, and then down here, I also want crit damage or attack, depending on what we're looking for or what we have access to. So let's see, something with crit damage, okay, that one's good. Crit damage +2, we could take that. Crit damage +2, or my bad, crit rate. Okay, so we don't want that one, right? Because it's crit rate. Why is this one locked? Oh, because it's attack 6. All right. Let's go with this. Astral, and then come down here. Attack percent, right? We could probably get away with that. Oh, look, but we have a crit damage. We have 2 crit damages down here with the exact stats that we're looking for. So let's just try this one real quick. Let's see what we can get. 53% crit rate. We already know at 48% we were overcapped. 53% we're definitely overcapped. 90% crit damage before, obviously, I max it out, right? But my attack is really low, and we're only at 90%. Yeah, I don't have a maxed out one for that. I'm going to use this one real quick just so that we can see what it looks like. We would be at 126 crit damage. If I maxed out that Astral Voice piece, right? That crit damage for Astral Voice, if I max it out, I'll be at 126 crit damage before I get any of these rolls, right? We got 4 empty discs that could all roll more attack percent and crit damage. Of course, I'm not gonna roll that right now, but there is a high likelihood that I can reach 3,000 attack because we'd be running a 2-piece attack, and I could potentially reach that 150, 155-ish crit damage, which will be really good for me. And I also have, that's a pin 5, right? Now let's just say you don't want to run pin 5, which you should be running with this team. But let's just say that you wouldn't want to run pin 5 and you want to run attack. Well, now I can come in here and now I can look for an attack. Okay, not I don't really want that, right? Don't want any more crit. Attack and crit damage, this would be okay. If this full sends in a crit damage, I could put that piece on, right? And that's kind of what you would go for. But let's just go back here real quick. Let's do this one. And we're back here, right? Oh, my bad. That was an attack percent. I didn't. That's definitely going to shoot me up. That was definitely going to shoot me up. Let's go here. 26, 53, 90, right? And then you just build around that. And so now that's like step 2. Step 3 in this whole process, we're looking at how do you actually play the team. That would be something that you're looking for. So we're going to come over here. I always recommend it, even though training mode is kind of dick right now, you can still learn what you're trying to get out of training mode. We don't need, which one? This one here. We don't need Marcus. Marcus is going to increase physical, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, we don't need Marcus. It's physical. We want the fire one, or we want something that's going to like snap, give us more energy, which can we use snap? We can't use snap. Yeah, no, Astra. We're not using Astra. We can't use that. So we're just going to go with Rocket Boo, right? You go with Rocket Boo, or you go with, what's the name of this one? Cry Boo. Cry Boo would be really good because it's building up fire damage and anomaly. Do I not have Rocket Boo? Wait. Oh, no, here he is. Okay, there we go. What do Bang Boos even do for the team? They just do a little bit of extra damage, right? They do passive damage on their own. A lot of them have different side effects. Like for instance, Robin, right? If you look over here, Robin, he's doing attack or there's something with an attack that meets the requirements, right? He's gonna pump out hearts, 56% increase of damage. Spades, increasing the days buildup by 34%. And then crowns, increasing anomaly buildup by over 100%, right? Stuff like that absolutely benefits. And then when you rank them out, like you get them to level 60 and so on and so forth, really good. So let's just kind of take this team into practice and let's see what we can rock out, right? Like what is it that we can do, you know? We already know how Evelyn works. She works off of chain attacks, and we know that Astra is a Enforcer's weak to fire, right? Yeah, he's weak to fire. We also know that Astra is a anomaly build-up character, and we just kind of go from there. I'll enable energy for now. So, as a player, you probably already know how to play Evelyn. Cool. Lighter is pretty simple. Stun the enemy. I won't make like a mini lighter guide, but like you just beat the shit out of lighter, right? Cool. Bernice, not Astra, my bad. Bernice. So now the whole game plan here, when it comes to trying to figure out how to team build, is how do you make whatever rotation you're looking for work, right? And so without including stuns, because let's just say we're going for the stun window or whatever the case may be, I know that I need 3 of these dots. Yeah. Boom. Okay, so now she has 3 dots. Easy. And you see how much anomaly she built up? Really good, because now that's going to help Bernice, because whenever she comes out here and she does her little thing, boom, they're burned. And with her new potential, after 8 ticks of heat damage or 8 ticks or whatever it is when you're attacking the enemy, there it is. She's gonna get that little dot that's gonna give her a bloom. So now we know lighter, right? We put the stacks on them. Uppercut. They're stunned. And so we just gotta figure out, like, how do I want to do this, right? And you just come in here and you make up whatever that, like, literally make up whatever you want. It doesn't matter. It just come in here and figure out how you want to play the character. You know what I mean? Do a couple basics here and you just go from there. Again, with Infernal Metal, everything is going to crit. If we came in, there's my a bloom thingy right there. Everything is gonna crit. Where is detailed stats? Here we go. 53. I'm overcapped, right, guys? I'm at 106% crit rate with plus 50% crit damage. Team building isn't so static. Like I really wish more players understood that. You don't, and fire damage bonus plus 41%, right? Because my lighter's not maxed out, all that other kind of stuff. Your team's chilling. You don't have to abide by only the best in slot. Best in slot is the only thing that matters. It doesn't work that way. If I had my penetration ratio maxed out, it's only at 6%. This would be 32% penetration ratio. This would be a strong Evelyn. You know what I mean? My Bernice attack 2742. Anomaly mastery. She's only buffing herself up, right? Fire damage bonus 56%. Like this is good for her. She wants that. All you're missing is your attack buff here. And so finding a way to obviously get that attack buff would be really good for you. But that might be where your disc drives come into play. Because again, you guys see how easy it is for us to cap out on Evelyn's crit rate. You really don't need Infernal Metal. But if you did use Infernal Metal, then you need to adjust whatever's going on. You could also run some things like with Bernice in particular, even though she's running, I think my Bernice is running Chaos Jazz. You could change it up. If you don't care about Bernice's personal damage, which you should, but if you didn't, for whatever reason, if you didn't care about the personal damage, you could change this to freaking, what is it? Is it Astral that works out that way? Hold on, let me double check. I think Astral and Moonlight have to be support characters, so let me not lie to you. Before I even tell you that, let me not lie to you. I know penetration doesn't have that criteria. Okay, yeah, Moonlight has to be support. Swing Jazz does not have to be support, and Swing Jazz is really good. And then Astral. Yeah, no, okay, and then Astral, yeah, that's it. Astral just is a quick assist. So if you're Bernice, right, which I mean, she can do quick assist. If you can trigger them fast enough, you can use that. Would I recommend that? No. And like, again, this video isn't me recommending you play this team. I'm just explaining to you guys, like, how do you build an unorthodox team that you personally might want to have fun with? Yeah, or Protopunk, right? Because Protopunk is what, defensive assist? Yeah. Yep, there it is. When any squad member triggers a defensive or evasive assist, all squad members deal 15% increased damage. You guys don't have to play things by the book. And again, this just goes into my whole philosophy that I keep talking about when it comes to once you learn the rules of the game, when you understand the foundation of the game, that's when you can change it up. You can start tweaking and bending the rules in your favor. I could run 4-piece swing jazz. And a lot of my older viewers, if you've been watching me since last year, 1.4 version 1.4, something that I got, I wouldn't say flack for, but a lot of players just, they were on my ass about it. Like, oh man, I was running 4-piece swing jazz on my Yanagi. You can go back and actually, where's it at? You can literally check it. You can check this video for yourself. It's still live on the channel, and I explain why and everything. These whole sets of videos with Yanagi, and then there's another one in here with Miyabi that I might just be missing out on. No, yeah, there's Yanagi. Somewhere in here is Miyabi. I'd have to go back and double check on it, but she's around here somewhere. But point being is that I went ahead and explained, oh, no, I'm right. Okay, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All 4 of these videos back to back to back to back to back. All 4 of those videos are introducing different ways to like play these characters or build these teams. And so a lot of this whole factor was like 100% Nyx, right? I wouldn't say 100%, but a lot of that was Nyx. And so the way that I think about the game is because of Nyx, right? Like how I'm more open and like tweaking shit or digging into things is because of him and like the way he taught me to explore the game, which I'm very thankful for. Nyx is he's a good friend. Actually, I lie. He doesn't like friends. He's a homie, but I don't know. You might have seen him around. You may or may not have seen him around. He's not a content creator. He's just like, he's a homie. He's in the groups. I don't think Grand Blue Relink just got announced for like their next version of the game. So he's probably not coming back to Zenless. I say that, but then we'll see him next week. Anyway, my point being is that at the time of me playing or making that video with Yanagi, right? And it was featuring Yanagi and Haru, or Yanagi and Miyabi in particular, everyone was stuck on the fact that Chaos Jazz was Yanagi's best in slot. Like just use Chaos Jazz. There's no reason that you should not be building anything but Chaos. What ended up happening, especially when I was able to show off that video, was when I played Miyabi, Seth, and Yanagi, if you use Chaos Jazz, the team doesn't work. Oh, well, that doesn't make sense because Yanagi's best in slot disk drive set is Chaos Jazz, 4-piece Chaos. Well, the reason it doesn't work is because now, since you're playing Yanagi is the way she's supposed to be played with like EX skills to detonate the disorders, if you don't have energy, you can't use her EX skill. How do you fix it? If we go back to what I just taught you guys with the whole, playing Bernice, Lighter, and whatever it is, you look at the disk drives, you look at the stats, you look at what you might be overcompensating on or what you need, you fix it. So we ran, instead of an Anomaly Mastery Yanagi, because at the time she didn't need it, we ran Energy Regen so that she made sure she had her energy, and we ran a 4-piece Swing Jazz. And at some point, it got to a point with like where my Seth was built up very good to where I could swap off her Energy Regen for AM because we were able to play Nagi like in a more quick swap manner. And so with this, 4-piece allowed us to, every time she did ultimate, which because she's on an Anomaly team, she was doing ultimates very fast compared to all the other teams. And then once we got more comfortable with the team, like, oh, you know what? We can actually squeeze in a chain attack from Nagi because using Seth's, like we discovered some tech with Seth, you can give the shield to both characters on the team instead of just one character. To this day, people still think that you can only give his shield to one character, but you can give the shield to the whole team if you know the tech. So now that we figured that out, we're like, wait a minute, we can get chain attack and ultimate with Yanagi now. This is 15% all the time. Like anytime we go into a burst window, that's 15% all the time. Or yeah, I'm right, 15% damage increase all the time. And because of the way Miyabi works and disorders, right? The more disorders or polarity disorders I can do with Yanagi, the more EBAs I can do with Miyabi. That's why it's my favorite Miyabi team. Because at that point, literally all I'm doing, hold basic attack, 1, 2, 3, swap into Yanagi, zip, zap, zoom, Miyabi, 1, 2, 3, Yanagi, bang, 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 Seth come out, stop the enemy from doing whatever they want, get a couple parries, back into Miyabi, EX1, EX2, hold 1, 2, 3, Yanagi, bang, bang, ultimate. It's a beautiful team. It's really fun. It's really engaging. I absolutely love that team. It's still one of my favorite teams, if not my favorite team to play to this day. But again, finalizing that is all I'm talking about, right? Like once you understand rules, you can start breaking the game and bending it however you want to. That is more of an advanced lesson, I guess, if I were teaching somebody stuff like that. But I just wanted to go over like the basics of team building. I know this might have been a long-winded video, but I promise you guys, it really is. It's just something that you kind of want to learn. You learn it as a new player. You learn it as a in the middle player, an older player, whatever. If you didn't know it, now you know. And if somebody else doesn't know it, you can point them to the direction of this video, or you can just tell them yourself, right? Why I say that to end all this off is that the community has gotten to a point now, and it's been that way for a little bit. I think we're getting a little better at it, but the community has gotten to a point where it's like the older players are telling new players things that they never fully experimented with. You're like, it's just this thing and that's it. There's nothing else about it, right? It's only A. So they're telling new players it's only A, and now new players are questioning or repeating that it's only A. Then when they're told they're wrong, they're like, well, wait, what? Like, that's not what. It's like, here we are. That's kind of it. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here for today's video. Let me know your thoughts and opinions, whether or not I guess you can't really agree or disagree because I just broke down team building, but whatever. Anyway, I can't say my user outro because it's inappropriate for YouTube. If you want to see more of the like new player stuff, I might have a playlist somewhere over here, or it might just be a single video, but they're on my channel. Smell you later.